And I thank everyone here and everyone at Community Voices Heard and everyone who's traveled to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed in a time of crisis, but we're in a time of crisis that had to come. We're in a time of crisis that had to come. And the energy and the passion that you bring here tonight, my one request of you is let us focus our energy and passion. And let us focus as New Yorkers on what we can do locally and what we can do as a state to fight back against the bad public policy ideas that bubble out of Washington on seemingly a daily basis. Now, I was lucky enough to be able to get here to look around at some of the classes going on in this wonderful Armory tonight. There are kids coding and parents are bringing their kids. And there's a citizenship class. And I walked in on the citizenship class, and on the screen was a section that says, the Constitution of the United States ensures rights for everyone. And I don't care if the TV cameras are all focused on the latest tweets that are coming out of Washington or Mar-a-Lago or what's going on somewhere else. The important thing that's going on is the citizenship class. And the important thing that's going on is that kids are learning to code. And I don't want anyone to be afraid to come to a class or to send their kids to school because they think they may be in danger. And here in New York, it's up to us to make sure they are not in danger and they can act without fear. Because this is a state, and up and down the Hudson River Valley, there are people organizing. This is an incredible area of activism. But understand that this is a state that was founded on the principle that everyone was welcome. It was not founded by one religious group seeking to have a colony where everyone had the same religion. It was set up so that everyone was welcome here. And that is our tradition, and that's something we have to be proud of. We've seen the energy and the organizing when restaurants closed down for a day without immigrants, when nonprofits in Rockland County and Orange County and up and down the valley stepped up to give free legal advice to immigrants, when local organizations declared that we're going to ensure sanctuary, provide sanctuary, and I'm proud of the fact that our office has been working with local governments and organizations all over the state because we actually saw this coming. Ladies and gentlemen, I first sued Donald Trump in 2013. You get to know someone, that was over his phony university, but before anyone thought he'd be president. But I never really, I anticipated after this campaign that they weren't going to dial back the rhetoric. A lot of people said it won't be so bad. The anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim, anti-American animus of the campaign, I thought, well, this is going to carry over. We're going to see this. So I'm proud of the fact that we have been leading the effort to unite attorneys general around the country, and for the first time, really, you're seeing a lot of Democratic attorneys general as the point of the spear to fight back against these bad public policies. Because we also, at the state level, defend the Constitution. We also defend the rule of law. And as the court said when it struck down his first immigration ban, the president is also subject to the Constitution and the rule of law. So, I have a lot to say and not very much time, but let me emphasize this. Our system of government was set up, and understand, the essential unit of the United States of America has always been the state. So those of us in state government have to use our power to protect the people we represent. And we have to use that power to protect wherever they're going to try and cut back. I was at a press conference with a huge crowd earlier today about their efforts to roll back environmental regulations to provide clean air and clean water and environmental justice and protect our climate. We have the ability at the state level to fight back on that. We have the ability to enforce the rule of equal justice under law. And I want to talk to you about 3 vital ways that states can fight back, and talk a little bit about specifically about what we're doing in New York. But the most essential thing is to this: understand that your state government has a lot of power to protect you, but that you will get from your government what you make it give you. That's the first rule of organizing. So speak up, stand up, be heard, and watch what we can do. There are 3 essential ways that we can push back at the state level. First, we can fill the void when the federal government pulls back. If they don't want to enforce labor laws and protect workers, we can enforce labor laws and protect workers, and we have done that in our office. Second, when they do things that hurt the people we represent, as would have happened with that ban on immigration, that would have hurt a lot of people in the state of New York, where we have a lot of people coming and going from countries whose entry would have been banned. We will fight back. We can sue them. We have the power to fight back at them, and if they try and undo the laws that protect our environment, we can sue them on that also. When they try and undo our civil rights laws, we can sue them on that also. So we can fill in the gaps, we can fight back, and finally, we can model a better way of doing it. We can show what a community where all are united can do. What you heard at the beginning of this, I think Alfredo said, the community where we are all together, where we truly can be united, that is where real power lies. We have to show in New York a better way of going forward, where everyone respects each other and we all work together. That is tremendous power. So let me talk about a couple of examples. Now, I mentioned that we did anticipate this. So when the administration started putting out executive orders and memos threatening immigrant, scaring, really, because the threat was not real, but scaring immigrant students, scaring trans students, scaring students who thought that schools were a safe place for them, we anticipated that, and I was working with the state education commissioner. We have issued a series of guidances to local schools to make sure every school district in the state knows students still have rights. Parents still have rights. You don't have to turn a kid over for questioning. You don't have to give access to children without parents' permission. And my office has been working with school districts around the state to make sure they know that those are safe spaces. Every school should, no parent should ever be in fear. They send their kid to school and it's not a safe place just because someone in the federal government mouths off about something that may or may not be constitutional or illegal. We'll tell you what the law is. And those of us in local and state government here have a lot of ability to protect people. As I mentioned, we've also filled a void in labor enforcement, and Renika is here, but in recent years, because there wasn't enough enforcement of the federal labor laws, we've recovered more than $28 million from more than 20,000 workers who were being ripped off and having wage theft committed against them. And I want to make sure you know that everyone who comes to us is safe. We never ask your immigration status. A lot of people have come in courageously who don't have documents but wanted to report wage theft against workers. We're not going to back off from that, and we don't really care what they say in Washington. They can't stop us from enforcing the labor laws. Now, even before Trump issued his executive order and they issued these memos saying we're going to come after sanctuary jurisdictions, my office issued a guidance, and it was the first time in the country that anyone had issued a comprehensive legal roadmap telling a local government, here's what you have to do under federal law, and here's what's voluntary. And to a great extent, ladies and gentlemen, it is up to a local government and local law enforcement. I know I have some colleagues in law enforcement here with us tonight and colleagues in local government. You can decide if you want to collaborate with the federal immigration agencies or not. A lot of it is optional. If they don't get a judicial warrant, a lot of it is up to the local government. So we issued a guidance. It's now being used all over the state to make sure that our jurisdictions have the strongest legal standing if there's an effort to come after them. And believe me, we can't protect people, and you can, if you are in law enforcement, you can make the determination. We do not want to make our people less safe by driving immigrants underground. That is up to local government. That is up to our local law. And as was noted before, when the first immigration ban came out and they were detaining people at airports all over the country, and it was very chaotic, within a matter of less than 2 days, 17 other attorneys general got together to issue a statement. If the federal government won't tell you what's going on, we will. And we represent collectively more than 130 million people. And we issued a statement saying, this is not constitutional, this is not American. This will be struck down, and in between now and then, we're going to do everything we can do to protect people. And 2 weeks later, that ban was struck down, in fact, and I'm very proud of it. And today we announced that I am joining with several other attorneys general to bring a challenge to the second ban. Which I have to say, they have dialed it way back. They have accepted the fact that they can't do a lot of the things they said they were going to do, but it doesn't make it less offensive to say we're now discriminating against a smaller group of Muslims. That's not the way the Constitution works. So, I'm proud of the fact that our office has been in the lead on a lot of issues over the last 6 years. And I'm proud of the fact that New York has shown leadership on a lot of issues over the last 6 years. One of the things that I'm very proud of is we're funding, I was the first Attorney General to say we needed to investigate the banks that blew up the economy back in 2008. And with the support of a lot of communities around the country and organizers around the country and great support from our brothers and sisters in labor, we actually forced a national investigation, and the president made me the co-chair of this national investigation that has recovered from these banks almost $100 billion. We're funding land banks all over the state. We've already provided over $6 million to the land bank here in Newburg to help rehab houses, to help keep people in their homes. In New York, we were a leader in the fight for a $15 minimum wage and for paid family leave. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we have to fight back, but we also have to fight forward. We have to show the rest of the country there is a way to have a good wage economy where people have family supporting jobs that includes every group, discriminates against no one, and relishes the fact that we rise together. I do better when we all do better. That's something we have to continue to show the way for. In New York, we also are showing, and we have great law enforcement agencies in New York. In New York, we have repealed a lot of our worst sentencing provisions. Repealed the Rockefeller drug laws. We've more alternative to incarceration. Our crime rate is going down while our prison population is going down, and we have to keep that trend going. We are safer when we send less pure people to prison. And that's something that those of us who work in law enforcement understand. And this year, we're finally going to raise the age. So we treat 16 and 17-year-olds as children, not as adults. So no matter where you come from, no matter what language you speak, understand that this nation of immigrants found